Yes, consumer advocate Ralph Nader has met a CEO he likes, at least 12 of them.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by C3 AI. C3 Generative AI provides ChatGPT enterprise search that is verifiable, secure, and accurate across all enterprise data. C3.ai. This is enterprise AI. And by Affinity, provider of the CRM for the private capital relationship economy. Affinity knows who has the best relationship with the right startup. Affinity.co/marketplace.
I'm David Brancaccia. First, the House of Representatives is expected to start procedural votes later today on a shorter-term bill to keep the government from running out of money past Friday and avert a partial government shutdown. The credit rating agency Moody's has lowered America's grade as a borrower, citing what it calls continued political polarization in the U.S. But are there practical effects of getting dinged like this? Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer reports.
If you or I got a ding to our credit rating, banks would see us as a riskier bet. It could be harder to get a loan. Not so for the federal government, says Mark Goldwine, Senior Vice President at the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget.
People are still investing in the United States of America.
The U.S. borrows money by issuing treasury bonds. Investors still see those bonds as a safe haven, and they still think the U.S. will pay them back. But the lower outlook from Moody's is just the latest warning. Goldwine says 2 other rating agencies have actually lowered their U.S. credit ratings from AAA to AA+, which is still good.
And so this isn't a time to panic, but it is maybe a time to assess how do we make sure our fiscal house is in order and our political system is functioning so that our debt doesn't get out of control at some point in the future.
Goldwine says right now our debt isn't sustainable, and if interest rates stay high, in 2 years interest payments will become the federal government's second biggest expense, exceeding spending on Medicare and the defense budget. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said last night that a shutdown would be an unnecessary headwind when the U.S. economy is doing well. As for the credit downgrade, Yellen insisted that U.S. Treasuries remain a safe asset. S&P and NASDAQ futures are each up by a sliver. The 10-year interest rate is down 4.61%. Analysts say that is in part a bet that moves to keep the government funded and open will work.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Palo Alto Networks. Palo Alto Networks delivers comprehensive cybersecurity protection while automating cyber defense to stop threats so organizations can thrive. Learn more at paloaltonetworks.com. And by Amazon Business, helping provide a smarter, easier way to get the supplies businesses need to thrive. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying. And by Betterment, the automated investing platform that helps make it easy to be invested for the long term. Learn more at betterment.com. Investing involves risk.
Now to a man who for more than half a century is considered by many America's consumer advocate-in-chief. Ralph Nader, an instrumental force behind safety standards for cars, cleaner water, whistleblower protections, and more. Nader has run for president 4 times and has spent a career challenging abuses of corporate power. So what do we have here? Ralph Nader has a new book out today where he's found a dozen examples of company CEOs who he sees as being forces for good. Mr. Nader, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
What's gotten into you, sir? Being nice to CEOs? Are you mellowing?
Well, after a lot of years going after the big CEOs for bad behavior, I thought we needed some comparative yardsticks. Over the years, I've got to know and learn about 12 CEOs in a whole variety of businesses who did it right.
You have some very big top-of-mind names among your list of 12. Yvon Chouinard, the Patagonia guy. But among the 12 you feature are some, I would say, non-household names at this point. Gino Paolucci from Minnesota. This guy founded 70 companies. Chungking Foods, some will remember. Gino's Pizza Rolls, many will remember. What should the world learn from Mr. Paolucci's example?
Well, he grew up real poor in the Iron Range of Minnesota, and he described conditions for the miners beyond belief. And he never forgot where he came from. And then he said, well, I'm going to go out on my own. And he started one company after another. But he insisted on labor unions. in his company, and he championed the cause of labor because, again, he never forgot where he came from and how horrible the conditions were in the workplace for his family.
Lots of interesting people on the list here in the book. Anita Roddick from The Body Shop. We interviewed her over the years. Herb Kelleher, that character, founder of Southwest Airlines. I mean, he was a character, right?
He insisted on reversing the business model. So when Southwest was successful, he was the lowest paid executive among all the big airlines, United Airlines, Delta. And when I asked him why, he said, because I started with my people. He would never say associates or employees. If you treat our people well on the airlines and at the counter, they will treat the customers well, and the customers will fly on Southwest Airlines more, and that will make the shareholders happy. So that's what I mean by reversing the business model.
What is it? Among your hopes here for this book is that maybe it would be added to, I don't know, business school curricula?
Yeah, there are just millions of students that are business majors in undergraduate courses and, of course, business schools, and they need a book like this as part of their curriculum to elevate their expectations of the role of business in our country and alert them to what they may be required to compromise in terms of their own principles and keep their conscience at home by bad business practices. And that's what this book hopefully will help turn around.
Consumer advocate Ralph Nader, his new book, brand new, is called The Rebellious CEO, 12 Leaders Who Did It Right. Mr. Nader, thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
I also asked Mr. Nader about whether or not he sees corporate America today making progress on rethinking capitalism to go beyond shareholder value, to consider costs and benefits to employees, communities, and the earth. A director's cut of that conversation is streamable online at marketplace.org. Just press the button, out it comes. Our producers are James Graham, Liz Mai, Naomi Rainey, Olivia Wilson, Nick Perez, Ariana Rosas, Alex Schroeder, and Erica Soderstrom. Our senior producer is Meredith Garrettson-Morby. It's the Marketplace Morning Report from APM, American Public Media.